Hello everyone and welcome back to the Nintendo Emblem podcast. My name is Takumi and the Nintendo Emblem podcast is your destination to the Nintendo world. And today we got a lot of topics to be speaking of today. So the last two ones were only one topic episodes, but I discovered that podcasts talk about multiple topics. That's why today we'll be speaking of the new Nintendo Switch and what is going on with Nintendo these days. What are the new news about the new Nintendo Switch, or is it going to be more than a console? Next we'll be talking about the long-awaited Metroid Prime 4, and then we'll be having a talk about will there be a Tears of the Kingdom DLC? We may get one, we may not. We're going to be discovering about that. And of course, my fave side order of Splatoon 3 from the expansion pass DLC. We must know, will we be getting a new DLC or the new DLC and not, because the last director didn't get any info. Lastly, the Wii U online service is back for Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon 1, the beloved Splatoon. So, let's speak about the new Nintendo Switch. So right now there's nothing official, but there are a lot of talks about a new Nintendo Switch that is being reviewed in front of a lot of developers and publishers. So according to my knowledge in the game development, working process, when you show a game console to developers, that means, publishers, that means like the console is ready to be published, or like we need now to be starting to prepare for marketing. And the news we got, which is that the console is planned to be released or announced at the second half of the next year, which is 2024. And I have expected that 2023 won't be having anything strong about Nintendo Switch or the new Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch Pro, and so let's dub it right now as the Nintendo Switch successor. So the Nintendo Switch success created a strong impact for Nintendo's budget, like over 120 million sales is not a small number. Multiply that by 300, yeah, that's a lot. And so Nintendo having a big budget, and they're creating a good console if what we're hearing is correct. So we have two hypotheses about the new Nintendo console, which is, first of all, a Nintendo Switch that's better, or let's call it Nintendo Switch Pro. And I feel if Nintendo did that, Nintendo just lost their creativity, because we need something fresh, we need a new era to be saying, yeah, this is the new Nintendo console, not just this is the new Nintendo Switch, like what happened with the 3DS things. A better console means OLED screen, and that's where this hypothesis failed, because we got information that it's going to be an LCD screen to reduce the production costs, which really disappoints me, because Nintendo should have seen the reaction of people when we got the OLED model. Everyone was happy, finally a good upgrade. Not everyone, which is why the OLED model doesn't sell really much as the original Nintendo Switch. But the question here comes, why won't we be having a non-LCD console? Why are we still in the old generation? Now, there's another thing. There are some rumors or leaks that there are two the new Nintendo consoles. What do I mean by that? I have two explanations. One from some sources, the other one is from some sources, and it's my favorite. The first one, which is something I don't really like, digital only version. Consoles have been really going to this direction. The Xbox, the PlayStation 5, they have been going to the direction where we'll be getting only digital consoles like Xbox, PlayStation 5. We have been getting 100 cost cut to get a digital only console, which means it only uses digital games that are downloaded through some store. In our case, the Nintendo eShop. Now, if we get this, and that's like the upgrade, I'll be really disappointed. I don't really like this idea, like, who wants to be having only digital for just a reduction cost? Actually, according to some research, most people get digital games, and since they are in the same price range and sometimes they're less because of discounts, because Nintendo don't always do discounts for large title games, but Amazon, eBay, a lot of other sites do a lot of good discounts, which make it a good deal to buy the physical version. I always get the physical version, never buy something digital. And so because I'm afraid that something like the ENLBufferPwn vulnerability was there, it has affected the digital downloading and the digital purchase marketing. And so making a digital only console is terrible. I don't suggest that to Nintendo or suggest this idea. The next one, which is my favorite, it might be something like 3DS and Wii U era. So in the 3DS and Wii U era, we had a portable console, which is the 3DS, and we had a home console, which is the Wii U. Now you see, some people will be fighting me for that and saying, oh, we have a hybrid console, we have all that in one console. Why do we downgrade? Well, when we talk about the Nintendo Switch and compare it to the Wii U and the 3DS, the 3DS had its power of double screen, which is something the Switch doesn't have. The quality is lower, but still there was the creativity of the idea of the Switch. Now, speaking of the Wii U, the Wii U is still the Wii U because we have double the screen. So like it was the same idea, but interpreted into other systems. They got that into the Switch, but it wasn't really good, right? I don't find the Switch a really good console when we speak of features. No, it was not good at features. Also, I've been preferring, and I really hope, I cross fingers for not having the Horizon OS, which is the operating system of the Nintendo Switch. I really hate it. And you, I'm sure you hate it. You hate that there's no themes, right? There's no themes, there's no mic, there's no camera, there's no anything good from the Wii U or the 3DS that is on the Nintendo Switch. So, which one is going to be there? Most talks about digital only versions, which is the second console, and another console that will be completely normal and accepts version copies. And there is also some talks about multiple cartridges, which is something I don't find really useful, but it's extremely useful speaking of space. About multiple cartridges, I don't really find it extremely useful. It might be useful for some people who find it good to not lose cards, but like, what's going to be the limit? 4 cartridges? Okay, that's the amount of games I have, but still, I don't find it useful for collectors, for example. Like, having the cartridge in the game, in the game cover itself, is actually more secure than having it into the console, because the Nintendo Switch will be like doing a lot of connections between the game cartridge and the console chips, which will make it a bit dusty, have a lot of problems. I used to have this problem with discs in the Wii era, and yeah, it's terrible. And of course, a lot of people have been asking Nintendo to fix this problem, but it's actually a hardware problem, so it's impossible to be fixed. Now, here's my favorite part. Will it be moddable? I hope yeah. So that's something that's not controlled by Nintendo. It's controlled by the hardware we're going to be receiving, and a lot of people say that it's going to be NVIDIA, which is the same as the Switch. Now, if we're going to be starting a new Nintendo console era, I would really love if Nintendo added this GPU chip to be there to be able to mod it, because I really love modded consoles. Modded consoles has been supporting people. Speaking of, people can't get games or even customizability. It was really helpful. So will it be moddable? No. So Nintendo have been really strict with their Nintendo ninjas. I really love this expression. They have been really strict, speaking of piracy and stealing games. And so any game that's not verified, any ROM, anything that Nintendo might not be getting money from is going to be stopped and cancelled. And I recently has been participating in something like that. There is a program called HackerOne where Nintendo has a page there where you will report all the vulnerabilities or anything that goes against the Nintendo rights. Also, there is the piracy email where if you find any site that sells ROMs, any video that supports piracy, please report it to them. I'll be leaving the email in the description below. I did that and they responded and they removed the site. I don't like to mention the site right now, but it's effective. And so I find piracy really frustrating, but still too useful to be not having moddable consoles. No, it's not useful. I love moddable consoles, speaking of myself. Now, the power. Guess what? It's going to be stronger. That is the only thing that might make you happy. But speaking of stronger as what? Yeah, here comes the problem. Nintendo have been the powerhouse of power. You are not playing with power, you're not playing with portable power, you're not playing with superpower. It stopped. Nintendo now are the power of PS4. I don't know, but for some reason Nintendo loves to not be that powerful console. Like the Switch was the power of like something less than the PS4 and the PS5, of course. Now the new Nintendo console is going to be the power of the new the PS4 and the Xbox that released in this generation. Why? Because Nintendo don't want to pay a lot of cash, and that's because they got a trauma of what happened in the Wii U era. Let me tell you something. We got a really successful console. In the case of the Wii U was the Wii. In the case of the Nintendo Switch, in the case of the new Nintendo Switch, it's the Nintendo Switch. The Wii U became a Wii successor by being a Wii that is better. If we notice that, it was the first Nintendo console to have HD. It became better. It failed to be the worst console selling in the Nintendo market. Here comes the problem. The Nintendo Switch got a really high success, and they want to build something better, something like Switch that is better. Then we have the same scenario of the Nintendo Wii U. The problem is the Wii success compared to the Nintendo Switch success is like it's small compared to it. The Switch success is bigger. Now if the Switch success is bigger and the next console success loss is bigger, that means it's the end of Nintendo, because that would be a really big problem that we need to focus about. Like, here we go. I'm going to explain on paper. I hope you see it. The Wii was like this. Okay? Let's try. Wii. Well, it's double I, so. The Wii is like this. The Switch is like this. Compared to the Wii, it's a good success. It's a larger success. How the Wii succeeds, it was the same as it lost for the Wii U. Here. If that happened, and the Switch got down, it's going to go down as it went up there. Forget about this. It's going to go down, and that's going to be terrible. A lot terrible for the new Nintendo Switch. That's what I'm afraid of. And so Why did I say that the 3DS and Wii U era to be again redone? I'm not sure of that. That means double the cost of marketing because you're marketing for two consoles. That means a lot. Nintendo spent a lot on the Wii U for advertising it, and it failed, of course, and so that's why it's a big loss and a big failure. The 3DS 2 is not a failure. Like, it failed, but not really like failed. Everyone loved it, just as Wii U. Now, let's talk about these buddies. Everyone hated them. I hate them. Really hate the Joy-Cons. Like, I love them when we speak of some stuff, but the Joy-Cons, they have drift. They're made of low quality plastic. Triggers, terrible. Buttons, not likely to be preferred. Even the SL and SR and the SL and SR, they have the same name, that I just knew that. Plus, I hope we can find a better controller like a D-pad. These were terrible opinions about the Joy-Cons that I also find. They're small for hands, like, they're really small. What I only like about this, like, used for boxing, I loved their setting that they're just free to play in the mode that you like, but they got a lot of issues too. And so there are a lot of rumors and a lot of leaks that Nintendo are upgrading their Joy-Cons into better controllers. What do I mean by better controllers? Is that we're getting better Joy-Cons, not these. Not these at all. Not these at all. Not these at all. Now, if you noticed, there has been a Sony touch on Nintendo that affects its creativity and its creation. So you might notice that I've said the digital only version, like Sony PlayStation 5, the power of the PlayStation 4. 2 points are enough to prove the impact that Nintendo are getting from Sony. Sony is a large company, but in Japan Nintendo are larger. When you speak of video games, in Japan people prefer the Nintendo Switch more than the than the PS4 and PS5. Now, backwards compatibility? No, Nintendo are not planning to be getting a backwards compatibility into the new Nintendo console, and I really hate that. What about Splatoon 3, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? These games, these beloved games, where are they going? To hell. And I really hate that. That looks terrible, that's terrible. And why? Because Nintendo will be losing money if we use old games. Darn. And speaking of backwards, not having backwards compatibility might be another sign for it just might be using discs. Discs? Yeah, it might be using discs. The old consoles that used to have backwards compatibility used the same type of unit, or like same type of storage. The 3DS was backward compatibility to the DS and the Game Boy Advance, only the first version, because of the slot of cartridge was the same. Which means if that was leaked back in the time, that means, oh, it's another Nintendo DS, an upgraded version. But when we talk about the Switch, Nintendo not having backwards compatibility might be another sign for moving into another type of storage, like discs, which I really love. Like the artwork on discs has been always beautiful. All my discs for the Wii are in Egypt, and I hope to get them one day. So, am I sad for backwards compatibility? Excited a bit. Now marketing. So the start of marketing is going to be in the next half of the next year, 2024, and I don't know if I said that before or not, but I've always said don't expect a new Nintendo console this year. New Nintendo console in 2023 is impossible, but in the next year is really possible. Now you see, there's a reverse between the new Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch was released on March, in the first half of the year. The new Nintendo Switch is released in the second half, after the halftime. I'd like to say that. Splatoon joke. And it's terrible. So, speaking of terrible, Nintendo has one chance of making this console success if it had not really good features, or like not everything we expected, which is marketing. And I'd like to speak about marketing. Marketing is really important, more important than than the creation of the game or the game console. You would find always in the budgets of games that the marketing is sometimes more than the cost of development. Why? Because it's just what makes it success. You can make the most perfect game of all time, but with low marketing, it doesn't work. And so I really hope and care about the new Nintendo console to be having really great marketing. Now, the games. We got some talks from Masahiro Sakurai, the game director of Super Smash and Kirby. He retired. I don't know if that's like some pause. He doesn't want to work now. But what I know, I'm a fan of his videos and I always watch his game development videos, and they're so useful, check them out. But here comes the problem. He says that it's going to be really hard to create another Super Smash without him. Is it like Nintendo told him we don't need you and so go away? What happened in the Nintendo world? We don't know. Yeah, the picture has fallen. Yeah, perfect. I don't know where I get it, but like, let's forget about it. So, again, speaking of other games, thank God Mr. Shigeru Miyamoto is still there, and that means we'll be getting Mario Kart, we'll be getting a new Super Mario Bros. Now, speaking about Wonder, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, I haven't said my review about it because I made a live stream, but it failed. You can check it out. I want to put a tag for it. I called it how to make the worst live stream in the world, in both of the worlds. And so getting games is not going to be as easy as the Switch did. So first of all, which makes me not going to buy the new console and really hating it, there's no Splatoon that's going to be made there. No Splatoon means no life. So, as Nintendo announced and said, the new Splatoon 3 is going to be the last Splatoon in the series. And so, there's no more Splatoon. The last idols were deep cut, the last story is the return of the Mammalians, the last everything is going to be inside Order or in the normal Splatoon game. Now, no Splatoon 4, so people are putting hope in Splatoon 4 and islands and stuff and concept design. No, just forget about it. No Splatoon 4. Splatoon 3 is the end of this Splatastic journey that I really love and that my channel is all about, which is a problem now for me. Now, no Splatoon means low marketing because everyone loves Splatoon. Who doesn't love Splatoon? You stupid don't love Splatoon? You better be not as stupid and not love Splatoon. Now, I have a problem now. What about other games? And that is going to be our next topic. And like this, we have ended the main topic, which is, what's it called? The new Nintendo Switch. And we'll be talking more about it in next episode, so stay tuned. And let's switch into our second topic, which is Metroid Prime 4. Let's remove Metroid Prime and add Splatoon and ask Nintendo to make Splatoon 4. So Metroid Prime 4 has been announced 6 or 7 years ago. Oh my god. Like, that was like, I was 9 or 10. And Nintendo don't still remember making it. So Nintendo announced from some years, like 3 years ago, that they deleted the whole game and decided to make a new one. I'd like to send a message to Nintendo. Dear Nintendo, you're just stupid. Why did you do that? So you might have done that because the game is not good, or it didn't look good. Just fix it, come on. But deleting it fully and starting from scratch, no, that's going to take you a lot of time. Development, I really need to know the budget of this game. Like, it took a lot of money. I'm sure it took a lot of money. So also something, Metroid Prime 4 might be cancelled. Like, the first version was deleted because they were preparing Metroid Prime 4 as a large game to be released on the new Nintendo console. Like, they knew, oh, so the console department is making the new Nintendo console. Well, let's take a chance and make the game bigger and better. So, go and send them an email that we want our game to be the first game to be released. Okay, then cancel all you did on the Nintendo Switch. Why not make Metroid Prime 5? No, why should we make Metroid Prime 5? Just Metroid Prime 4 for the Nintendo, new Nintendo console, and make the people who are waiting for Metroid Prime 4 die and suffer from dehydration because they're waiting for you. No problem, no problem. People can wait, Nintendo can't. So selfish. Now, speaking of Metroid Prime 4, I find it blue. Yeah, that's the theme color, blue, which gives me the vibes, black and blue, which give me the vibes of Dark Samus, which might be a root of Dark Samus version of the game, like a deep story they took this time, and they don't get a deep story or a good story, or like the finale, I'm going to kill Nintendo, I'm going to go and explode the Nintendo headquarters at Kyoto. I know your location, Nintendo. I know where is your desk, Mr. Shigeru. I know where is your desk, Mr. Fukushima. No, that wasn't his name, right? That's a prefecture they had. Anyways, Metroid Prime 4, I'm sure it's going to be like the fresh release of the new Nintendo console. I hoped for a better thing, like Metroid Prime 4, I'm not a Metroid fan, but everyone is a Zelda fan, which was really good for the new, for the Nintendo Switch's release. We got Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is chef's kiss. We got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we got Splatoon 2, we got Super Mario Odyssey. If we don't get something like that, I'm going to throw everything out. Okay, I need the pencil, but no one's here. Anyways, if we don't get a really good console with good launch games, no need to be waiting for a better console or even to be asking for a new console to be released. Don't get a new console Nintendo without these four main games: Legend of Zelda, Mario Kart, 3D Mario game, 2D Mario game, and Splatoon. Yes, you can break your word and say, yeah, we're making Splatoon 4 for no reason. Yeah, we just broke our word, and Splatoon is now a 4-game series. Like, if they took Splatoon 3 and waited a little bit to be released on the new Nintendo console, I guess that would have been a lot better. You know, one Splatoon game on every console, yeah, we'll be okay. But getting 2 Splatoon games, I've never been okay with that. Even my past channels, I've said, new Splatoon 3, why another Splatoon? We were okay with Splatoon 2. Okay, look, Splatoon 3 is my favorite. I have it. It is like my heartbeat. It's the best Splatoon game I can ever talk about. Story, gameplay, idols. I'm a Fry fan, Team Fame, okay? Don't quote about it. Like, why would I be wanting no Splatoon into the next console? We really need this, so like, we need to talk about it later. And the new remasteration of Splatoon 3, no, don't do that, no, that won't be good effective, no. Now, what about Tears of the Kingdom? Nintendo worked hard on Tears of the Kingdom. Will we be getting it on the new console? Of course, like, they worked a lot hard, like, real hard. But here comes the question, which is the second topic. Speaking about the Tears of the Kingdom game. That game broke a Nintendo record of the best game of all time, getting 100 out of 10 out of 100 in every single platform for ratings. It got a rating of 10 out of 10. It was perfect. I looked at it like through YouTube, and I tried it at some Center for Wii U games. Man, this is beautiful. Like, don't speak about graphics. Perfect. Story. Perfect. Idea. Perfect. Everything about it. Features. Modes. Every single thing is perfect. Why? Because Nintendo worked hard on it. They looked at the gamer's perspective and they did it. They did the perfect Tears of the Kingdom Legend of Zelda game. What about the DLC? We'll be getting a DLC, you know. Usually Legend of Zelda games get DLCs, but will this one get? For me, I'd say no. Don't cry. Don't be sad. Why won't we be getting a Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom DLC? Is because Nintendo are working on something bigger. I hope so. So, like, we're talking about the next console. We don't want the scenario of the Wii U to happen again. And so, we'll be working really, really hard on making a new Legend of Zelda game. One of the disadvantages of the Wii U was not making at the beginning a new Zelda game. You know, all they did is Twilight Princess HD, Wind Waker HD. They just used the success of old consoles to be put back into the new console, which is the Wii U, which was by the way called the Nintendo Cafe. There's something also. We don't know the leaked name of the Nintendo Switch 2, which is something I forgot to talk about. You know, the Nintendo Wii, when it was leaked, it was known as the Nintendo Revolution. Since it's the greatest revolution in the video games market and in the video games world. Nintendo Cafe. Why? I don't know. Finally, we got right now the Nintendo Switch. It was used to be called the NX, and that was called by the greatest Nintendo president, Satoru Iwata. Rest in peace. So, nothing is leaked about the new Nintendo system, which freaks me out. We might be getting the Nintendo Horizon. I hate the Nintendo Horizon. And when I say I hate it, I really hate it. I really hate it. And so, another DLC means a lot of work. And DLCs are a pain. Okay? And so, if we're going to be making a new game, a new completely fully new game, that might be meaning focus on this to make it better than Tears of the Kingdom, which is going to be really hard. And I'm sure that Nintendo started working on it beside Tears of the Kingdom. Like, it has been working, they have been working on it for years, and they're preparing for the release on the new Nintendo console. Now, there's no space, of course, for the working on the DLC. DLC, adding new stuff to the game, won't be making a good touch for it. Like, if you just make us really thirsty for the DLC and this a new game, I guess we're going to be more happy, and I might think of buying it because I never tried a Legend of Zelda game. No, wait. I have tried Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess on my Nintendo Wii, but my IQ wasn't able to process it really, so yeah. Now, let's head to the next topic, which is side order. Nintendo, what's up? So I hope Nintendo didn't forget about making side order. Like, did you forget? Give everyone a vacation and no one works in side order? That would be a terrible shame, you know. Speaking of side order, which is like my favorite game, Splatoon 3, the new DLC of this game is going to be announced soon. Side order is like the expansion pass, like it's like the Octo expansion of Splatoon 3, and so it seems to be also speaking of the Octolings, since all we got is Off the Hook, we got Agent 8, what is going on is unknown. We got also Incomplice Square, and it's ruined by some white thing. So what happened into this game is unknown till now, but I have two hypotheses again, which it might be speaking of the past of Octolings, how they suffered before, or it is speaking of what if Side Order in the Splatoon 2 won. What if one of them won? What if Order won? I was Team Chaos for myself, which got us deep cut. I really hate them because they're just perfect. I really love Fry, yeah. She's perfect, she's a perfect idol. She's the perfect idol. I hate Shiver, okay? Take that in mind. So don't send me any Shiver thing in the comment, or I will target your place and kill you. Now, speaking about Side Order, we didn't get anything about it into the Nintendo Direct, but I'm looking forward into a Direct in September. Why? For no reason. So I feel like there might be something in September big. September, the first anniversary of Splatoon 3, so we need to get something about it. Definitely, we'll get something about it. Challenges or whatever. We'll be speaking on another episode the next week about what are we expecting for Splatoon 3 anniversary, so stay tuned. The last topic of today's podcast, oh my god, I need to drink water, which is the Wii U online service, and that is an important topic. Why did Nintendo return that? Let me tell you. So first of all, if you don't know that, but Nintendo recently has released a tweet and on their social media that the Wii U online service is going to be back. They returned it back for the most important games that support the internet, which is Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon 1. Why? Recently, the Wii U 3DS and Nintendo Switch faced a really terrible vulnerability called ENLBufferPwn, which actually was able to hack people's consoles, damage them, or even steal their money through their Nintendo accounts. And also, Nintendo worked really hard on this vulnerability with a lot of other hackers that I'm going to be leaving their channel links in the description below to check them out. I have once, I filmed a video about it, but it got deleted by luck, and so you might be talking about it in another episode. But Nintendo has fixed this problem from some months ago, and they might be testing on something like a prototype, or a child, a rat. They're testing the online services on a rat, like the Wii U. I don't mean the Wii U is a rat. The Wii U is the best console in the world, but still, they're testing it on something that's you don't have money on the Nintendo Wii U. If you got points, they're gone. If you got an account, you're not able to log into it. You're just able to log into your Indie ID. And so, testing the online services for the most two important games, which are Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon 1, which is the reviver of the Wii U, but still it failed, is really good actually. A lot of people have been complaining for some problems, which is expected. You must be expecting a lot of problems. But of course, I'm really happy for that. But why did they do it? Is it other than my reason? I don't know. But I find it really, really interesting for Nintendo to return the service of such an important console. Why? Because they might be prepared. It might be a tool, returning back the online services might be preparing for the next console. Next console might be another version of the Wii U. or might be another version of 3DS. I really hope that please, cross fingers and pray for a new 3DS. I love 3DS. Like, before buying a Switch, I've always wanted to get a 3DS. And actually I'm saving up to get a 3DS because even though it got discontinued, this is my favorite console of all time. My favorite home console is going to be the Wii. My favorite handheld console is the 3DS. Now, speaking of that, the Wii U got the online service again, although it got discontinued for some months. But it's going to be temporary, okay? For some people might thought, oh, they're going to be returning it forever. No, it is just the online gameplay, not the eShop, and just for a limited time. When it's going to be closed back is unknown, but when Nintendo notified that means it's going to be closed. And I guess that's it for today's content of the Nintendo Emblem podcast. I really need to drink water. I'm really dehydrated. And so, please don't forget to subscribe, and if you're listening from Spotify, please follow. And I'm really excited for all these news, and you're going to be finding me really active these days, every day sharing new stuff. I'm going to be preparing for vlogs, Nintendo shorts as I can. Now I'm a high school student, so please don't expect a lot, okay? But every week on Thursday, I'm going to be releasing a Nintendo Emblem podcast episode. And so, thanks for watching, and catch you later. Bye. And I need to throw this picture because it's terrible. Yeah.